Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger, man. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be showing y'all how to create the first ever inside the arc Playmaker build in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now, I have some gameplay of this build in the background, going to be made out of the power forward position, and overall, this is the first of its kind, but we're going to be able to do a lot of different things when it comes down to spreading the floor. Now, we're going to go ahead and make this build out of the 4 position. I'm going to go with the height of 6'10", and I'm telling y'all, we're going to be able to get some of the best takeovers in the game. Now, before we get any further into this video, man, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. I'm trying to reach 5,000 big supporters. Let's go ahead and reach that goal, and let's go ahead and be sure to smash that like button as well. Now, with this build, like I said, I'm going to go with 6'10". When it comes down to the weight, I'm going to go with the lowest of 210. And then for the wingspan, this is optional. I'm going to be going with 7'6", but if you want to lower it or raise it, you definitely can do that. Now, when it comes down to the body shape, this really comes down to your own preference and liking. I'm going to go with the build. I feel like this takes up more space on the defensive end, and that's exactly what I'm going to work with. Now, the first area that I'm going to go after on this build is going to be the physicals, and I feel like this should be the first area that we work with on every single build going into it, because it's really going to show you what the build is going to be looking like and what we should be expecting going forward. Now, when it comes down to the speed, I'm going to go with an 80, 75 for my acceleration, and you can max this out if you want to make the adjustments to do that. Now, for the strength, I'm going to go with the 76. We're going to be able to get pro contact dunks on this build, so make sure you go with the vertical of a 75. And then when it comes down to my stamina, I'm going to bring this up to an 89. Now, the first thing that I'm going to work with when it comes down to the 4 main areas is going to be the defense. When it comes down to the defensive rebound, I'm going to go with an 87, 73 for my offensive, and then when it comes down to the block, I'm going to go with an 87 here as well. Now, overall for the defensive badges, I'm just going to go ahead and say right here, we're going to be able to get a total of 25 badges. Now, I've made this build with getting more. I've also made it with getting less defensive badges. So there's definitely different ways that you can work around with trying to get this build name. I have not seen this build posted at all, so this is the first of its kind. But when it comes down to the perimeter defense and the interior, both of these will have the potential to get to the 80s if you do decide to buy boost, as well as pick the correct takeover. Now, for the steal, this is going to be a 71. When it comes down to that block, we're going to be able to get a 99 block and also a 99 defensive rebound. Now, this is going to apply once you buy a boost, but also if you pick the correct takeover like I just mentioned. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and get into the playmaking. Now, for this build overall, I feel like we're going to be able to do a little bit of everything. This kind of reminds me of a Kevin Durant build, Dirk Nowitzki, a lot of different players similar to their type. Even Brandon Ingram, this build is going to be one of the most versatile, but honestly, the build name is one of the best and the most rare, and I've never seen it at all. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking right here, the 82 pass accuracy, 81 ball handle with the 71 speed with ball, that's going to bring us up to 19 badges. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, go with an 83 mid-range, 78 for the 3-pointer, and a 75 free throw. That's going to bring us up to 21 badges. And then when it comes down to the finishing, we're going to be able to get the pro contact dunks, and all you need to do is first go with an 80 standing dunk, 84 when it comes down to the driving dunk, 75 for the driving layup, and a 77 close shot. And right there, in total, we're going to be able to get 83 badges. Now, if you add on the extra 4 from becoming a starter in my career, we're going to be able to get 87, then add on the extra badge from season 1. That's going to be 88 badges for this build in total. Now, going forward, I guarantee this is going to be one of those builds that's going to be able to get over 100 badges. Now, when it comes down to the actual badges for this build, the main thing that I'm really excited about is going to be the badge count and how I set this build up. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all exactly how to do that, so be sure to stick around. But if you're still watching, go ahead and comment down TG for thank God. And I want to know who the real ones are that are going to do that. And if you do, just know I got y'all with the response. But when it comes down to the finishing badges, the main ones that I'm looking at, going to be Back Down Punisher, Pro Touch. We also get Fearless Finisher as well as Limitless Takeoff. Now, the main badges that I'm looking at for the shooting was going to be Mini Magician as well as Space Creator and Hall of Fame. Then when it comes down to the playmaking, On tier 2, I use a good amount of badges out of this area, but then when it comes down to the defensive for tier 3, I use every single badge for this build on the layout at the highest possible tier out of tier 2. Now I'm just going to go ahead and give y'all a little hint. Every single badge when it comes down to the layout that I'm going to show y'all at the end is going to be a super toxic lineup, especially when you consider all the badges working together. Now I say that because it's going to open up this build and what we're going to be able to do, especially with spreading the floor and more so being able to actually be a playmaker with this height of 6'10". Now for the takeovers, we get the shot creating, also going to be able to get the sharpshooting. Then from here we get the playmaking, and this is what's going to allow us to get that 95 plus ball handle. Then for the final takeover we do get the rim protecting, and this one right here is going to allow us to get that 99 defensive rebound and also the block. So for the first takeover that I would consider, if you're looking to be the more competitive type of build overall, I would go with limitless range takeover or pull up precision. Now if you want to have more fun, go with ankle breaking shots takeover. Now for the second one, if you want that 95 plus ball handle, I would go with team ratings boost out of the playmaking takeover. But if you don't care for the ball handle, what I would do is switch it up. You can go with rim protecting, and we have 3 good options to pick out of this one, but I'm going to go with paint intimidation over stuff blocks. Now let's go ahead and check out the build name, and together I'm telling y'all, this build has not been posted at all, and we have made the first ever inside the arc playmaker build together. Now before we get any further into this build, I'm going to be sure that y'all see exactly what we're going to be looking like at 99 overall and which stats that we should be keen in on to look at in order to buy boost as well as be able to reach that 99 limit. So the main thing that I just want to say at this point is if you made it this far, man, be sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Let's reach at least 50 likes. And don't forget to turn on post notifications if you're subscribing. I upload every single day and y'all are not going to want to miss. Now, since we did pick a sharpshooting takeover, if we buy boost, that's going to bring our 3-pointer up to an 82. Now with that sharpshooting takeover, we're going to be a 92 3-point shot. Now when it comes down to the playmaking, if you did go with the playmaking takeover, that's going to bring this up to a 91. But if you buy boost, that's going to be a 95 ball handle. Now if you buy boost, that's going to be included for the speed with ball. This is going to be able to be brought up to an 85. But then when it comes down to the defensive end, make sure you're buying boost for the block as well as the defensive rebound. The offensive is going to be brought up into the 90s, but then when it comes down to the block and the defensive, both of these will be able to get to 99. Now for the badges that I went set up with on the finishing, I'm telling you, I was very specific with how I chose my setup. So for my tier 1 badges, I went with silver backdown punisher. Also went ahead and threw on gold pro touch. Now for tier 2, I did go with silver fearless finisher as well as silver limitless takeoff. And then for tier 3, I went with the core badge of posterizer on bronze as well as having to throw on bully. Now this setup, I absolutely believe it's going to be the best, especially if you're looking to be more versatile. Now when it comes down to the shooting on the tier 1 badges, I went with 2 Hall of Fame, Mini Magician as well as Space Creator. And if you want to switch it up, you definitely can do so. But out of tier 1, this is going to be a really OP lineup. Now for tier 2, I went with Bronze Agent 3 as well as Gold Green Machine. And then for my tier 3 badge, I went ahead and cored out catch and shoot on silver. But I had to go ahead and throw on at least Bronze Limitless Range. Now for the playmaking, this is going to be a huge part of this build. We get a lot of different badges to work with. Now for tier 1, we get a total of 4 badges out of this area. I went with Silver Killer Combos, Clamp Breaker as well as Hyperdrive. Then from there, I also threw on Bronze Handles for Days. Now for tier 2, go with Bronze Break Starter, Silver Quick First Step, as well as Gold Vice Grip. And then for tier 3, I went ahead and had to core out Unpluckable on silver. Now this is an easy setup to pick from, especially if you know what you're doing. But when it comes down to the defensive setup, tier 1, go with Bronze Glove as well as Interceptor. And then from there, I went with Gold Menace. Now tier 2, I did tell y'all, I used every single badge out of this area on the highest tier. Now that's going to be Gold Box Out Beast as well as Gold Chase Down Artist. Then for the other badge, I'm going to go with Silver Challenger. Now for tier 3, I cored out on Silver Rebound Chaser and made sure that I used my badge points on Silver Anchor. Now this is what the build is going to be looking like, and that's going to complete the badge loadout. But if you made it to the end, man, be sure to go ahead and comment down below, where did y'all tune in from watching today? And again, I just want to say thank you, God, for this support and another day as well as another opportunity. But man, with all that being said, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now go ahead and turn on post notifications because I'm uploading every single day and y'all are not going to want to miss. Now let's go ahead and reach at least 50 likes on today's video. And with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. I hope y'all stay blessed and rich out.